We're coming to you today from Melbourne, Australia, and we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are recording, the Wurundjeri and Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening to the recording today.
Before we get into today's show, a quick word about the Olfactive Melbourne Perfumery.
Brands featured on this show are available as a 4ml sample in our experience pack. Pick 3 fragrances and we'll send them to you with a QR code that links straight back to here.
So you can sniff along with the episode. It's the first interactive perfume podcast experience.
And the best way to discover Australian fragrance from anywhere in Australia. Fall in love with something? Your pack includes an exclusive discount on the full bottle.
Visit olfactiveperfumery.com and build your pack today.
Now, let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Olfactive Melbourne. I'm your co-host, Trent Stokes.
And I'm Robin Stokes. Today we have with us in the studio Louis Calmet, who is the founder and perfumer at Maison Le Garçon. Louis, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're really well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming all the way down to Melbourne to spend some time with us.
Thank you. I've been lucky with the weather so far. It's been a good
beautiful
time. Yeah.
That's good. So let's kick off the show with just a little bit about Maison Le Garçon. If you could tell us, where are you based and how long has the brand been around?
So I'm based out of Sydney, a beach called Bondi Beach. I'm sure you know, where all the French guys hang out. So Maison Le Garçon has been running officially selling for nearly 3 years, since 2023. Been working on it for about 5 to 6 years. And still running the show by myself with the help of my wife a little bit. Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about the name Maison Le Garçon. So for those of us who don't speak French, what does the name mean and what does it actually mean to you more personally?
So Maison Le Garçon means the house of the young man. The young man is me. My mom and dad always called me Le Garçon. My mom had a hair salon called Filles et Garçons. So yeah, as an only child and the unique son, I had to call the brand Le Garçon.
So it's a very personal.
Everything about this brand is personal. It's related to family, memories, and yeah, very much so.
Beautiful. Well, it feels like a real fusion of your culture, French culture, and Australiana. And I guess you're based in one of the most iconic locations in the country, being Bondi. I had no idea all the French guys hang out there, so we know now. If you if you want yourself a French guy, head to Bondi. Beautiful. Now, Louis, as you know, we do masterclasses on this show, and we always get you to select a fragrance that best represents your brand, and we will have that masterclass unfold in real time through the course of the show. So for our viewers and listeners today, which fragrance have you decided to feature?
So that was hard to decide, but I chose Bois de Chêne, our third creation. Because to me, it was the most complex to create and the one I had the most fun making with my perfumer. And yeah, I think it's a beautiful, very unique, interesting fragrance. So it's a good one to talk about.
Fantastic. Now that rolls off your tongue so well, I'm going to butcher it. So Bois de Chêne. De
Chêne.
Fantastic. So my French is rather rusty. What does that mean?
So it means oak wood, or wood of oak.
In
French, and you reverse it in English. So yeah, oak wood.
Oak wood.
Simply as that.
Fantastic. So I guess we've got the theme of what this fragrance might be about. So now we're really keen to have a smell. So Robin's going to grab that for us now, and we're going to spray the fragrance out. For those who are not regular listeners of the show, we always spray the fragrance out on blotters and on our skin. The reason why we spray it out onto both is on the blotters, we're going to get a very, very consistent experience, aren't we, across that. What you smell over there, Louis, is the same thing I'm going to smell over here, and it's important for us to be able to discuss those things in a really consistent manner on the show. On the skin, though, we can often get a very different experience just depending on a range of different factors.
I might spray it on the skin as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
No?
Even though I know him.
Fantastic. Yeah, we want you to experience it along with us as
Beautiful.
well. So I guess on the skin, you're going to be experiencing something slightly different to me, depending on the temperature of your skin microbiome, a whole range of different factors that can influence it. Fantastic. Now, before we get you to explain the notes that we're smelling, I can already have it. It's already hitting my nose right now. Just want to explain what we're going to be smelling. So we're going to be smelling the opening notes of a fragrance. So what we've got on the screen for you now is a perfume pyramid. And you'll notice at the very top of that perfume pyramid, we have our opening notes listed. Opening notes are simply made up of the lightest and the most volatile of the fragrance molecules within the fragrance. And all that means is that those molecules will surface in the fragrance first, giving us an introduction to the fragrance before it takes a little bit of a backseat and makes way for the heart notes yet to follow. This episode of Olfactive Melbourne is proudly brought to you by T&T Group. For Australian fragrance founders, the standard 10,000 piece packaging minimum has long been a wall between the design you envisioned and the design you could actually launch with. T&T Group designs and manufactures luxury packaging for the world's leading fragrance houses. And until the end of Season 2, Olfactive Melbourne listeners can access T&T directly, with the 10,000 piece minimum waived and 10% off unit pricing. Premium packaging at the scale Australian indie brands actually launch at. Visit tnt-group.com and mention Olfactive Melbourne when you reach out. So, with that explained, let's have a smell on both our skin and on the blotters, and then if you can take us through the opening notes.
So, on the pyramid is shaped in a way that the molecules are meant to disappear, or like the more fertile notes on the opening, and then the one that stays the longest will be the base note. With this one, I will tell you what I feel when I smell it, and then you'll forget everything about it, and then you tell me what you think. So on opening on this fragrance, all I get is smoke. All I get is firewood, is a fireplace, it's smoke, and then quickly after is a boozy whiskey. So the opening notes are prune and fig. What it is exactly, it's some accords to represent prunes and fig, but more the dry fruit than the fresh fruit. So it's a booziness. The fig and the prune together are representing the whiskey.
It does a great job, by the way, because I was thinking boozy.
Straight away to my nose. Yeah, that's
smokiness.
smoke-infused whiskey. Yeah.
Like a peated whiskey. That's what I get at first is the smoke, which is actually made or represented with more the second part of the perfume, which we'll talk later. But the heart notes and the top notes are coming all at once on opening, and then what you'll feel is that smokiness let appear a little bit more of the fruit in the second time. So the pyramid that you see with the fig and prune is a bit misleading, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you raise a good point here, and we have explained this a couple of times on the show before, but explaining perfume through the perfume pyramid, while it does give you an understanding of how perfume is constructed and what notes are in it, that's a very linear way of explaining a fragrance, and that's not actually the way it always unfolds.
Absolutely.
And you will get those heart notes start to come through. Certainly that strong whiskey and smoke is hitting my nose straight away before I'm getting those sort of fruits, although you said that the fruits sort of represent the whiskey.
Well, the accord, the bourbon accord, is essentially an assemblage, a combination of a lot of raw materials. They are described as fig and prune for the common people to make an idea of dried fruits, but we use different materials like davana oil and a bunch of different things to make this accord.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's interesting because prune is not something that I've heard of in a lot of
Essentially,
fragrances.
Davana oil is the core element of this accord.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm a perfumer enthusiast. I make perfumes myself, but I don't call myself a nez or a perfumer. That takes years and years and a lot of resources. What I do is I create a sketch of a perfume. I come up with something that I think it's pretty good, and then I take it to my perfumer with the formulation that I've done, with the materials that I've got access to, and the brief and my story. And then with my perfumer, Nick and Kylie from the Blue Mountains, which I thank a lot for working with me, then we revisit and they finesse it for me.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you do the first cut of the fragrance as such.
Basically, write a sketch or draw a sketch of formulation, and then we finesse it together.
Isn't that fascinating? Because we have, I guess, all types of perfume house business owners on the show, from those who are creative directors and simply, I shouldn't say simply, because it's
It's its own, yeah.
yeah, it's own thing, but they build the idea
It's a
of the fragrance.
vision,
It's a
yes.
vision. So they might put together a vision board or communicate to their perfumer that I'm wanting to capture the smell of this empty perfume box or this empty cigar box or whatever it might be.
Music, and they
Or,
use all kinds of
this place.
things.
Or we've dealt with self-trade perfumers who will go all the way through the process and build it themselves. I think you're the first guest that we've had that does sort of halfway between
Yeah.
both. You do the rough cut and then send it off.
Well,
That's interesting.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Simply, at first, when I started this 6 years ago, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do my everything about it. I'm gonna create perfumes. I'm gonna from the start to the finish. And then I came to a conclusion that it's a skill that takes years. It needs a lot of instruments. It needs a lot of resources to first come up with something that is really good, and also to keep the consistency.
Oh, yes.
And I wanted to, when I realized that I wanted to build a brand for the long run and something that I was gonna be putting someday on some really premium shelves of certain stores, it had to be done professionally. And there's so much to do in a perfume brand, from the creative direction to the design itself. I thought, okay, this is when I need to partner, but give my very I wanted to keep it very personal still, and they loved it. Not every perfume. I went through so many perfumer that told me no, or they told me I need $30,000 for just to make the first. This family from the Blue Mountains, they liked my story. I was probably the first person to come with a perfume, a formulation. Like, they were like, "Wow, like, you've done half the job for us," you know. We connected through also being from similar. They're from the mountains in Sydney. I'm from the mountains in France. So that was a really good collaboration. And they do a fantastic job for me.
Brilliant. So are they so is that a service that they offer to other people, or is it they're just doing that for you?
Yeah, I guess it's just for me.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't actually know.
fantastic, yeah.
I shouldn't say that maybe, but yeah, I guess they liked my smile and they liked my story, and they done me a favor.
Wow, it sounds like it was a match that was meant to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The French boy from Bondi. Nice. I can see the sales pitch right now. Fantastic. All right. So let's just to dig into the notes just a little bit here. So we've got the fig and we've got the prune. I think you said that both of those are accords. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So is there a reason when I think about something like a prune or especially a fig is like really juicy. It's full of liquid. Why is it that needs to be an accord? Why can't we use the juice of the fruit? Do you know?
Oh, so the prune is an accord. I believe the fig is an extraction.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's extracted from the dried fruit
Dry.
itself.
Okay, so there's
Yeah.
no liquid in there to actually extract.
No,
Yeah.
because if you think of a fig, it's very juicy. Well, a fresh fig, it's got a little bit of acidity in it. We didn't want that. We wanted to really get that fruit which you feel when you sip on a whiskey, which doesn't have that acidity. It's more like the dried, when you eat a dried fig, it's got a very different taste. It's more deep.
Yes.
It's more rich. You removes all this acidity from the fresh fruit.
Yeah, it's not instantly recognizable as fig when I smell this fragrance. It's definitely what it's meant to be, which is that whiskey
Absolutely.
sort of
Yeah.
Yeah, the boozy, smoky.
boozy
Yeah.
smokiness.
You're
Yes.
not
I had
out
to
the
come up
individual.
with I had to
Yes.
come up with a pyramid, for the viewers, and so I've
Mm.
basically just dissected what we used. But yeah, as you said, a perfume is constructed of so many materials. You've got to create an idea of what it smells like, but in this scent or in every other scent, you won't have one distinct note. You can't. Most perfumes that are well made, you can't actually dissect them by note.
Yeah.
They
You
blend.
smell a little bit of each, but if they're well constructed,
Mm.
it creates a really beautiful scent, not just one. Not
It's just blended to give you what you're trying to
Exactly. Yeah,
communicate.
yeah.
And I think that's happened definitely here. For me, on my skin, I get both the smoke and that booziness. On the strip, it's more smoky for me.
Oh, this is a fragrance where you absolutely have to try it on your
Yeah, have to
skin.
put it on your
Yes.
skin.
It's just incredibly different on my skin. It's almost like it's more powerful, much more powerful, but
Radiating.
it's also, yes, it's radiating off.
What I get on paper strips sometimes when I don't love showing people this perfume on paper strips because as you said, it doesn't represent what it actually is. What I get, and you tell me if you have it also, is shaved pencil. When you shave a
Yeah.
pencil, the wood that gets cut from the pencil, I get that. I don't know if it's because of the paper itself
Yeah,
or
I think it is.
but yeah, and then I don't get the booziness on the paper strip.
Yeah, it's
Not
like
as
that
much,
smoky, woody woodiness, whereas it's smoky, boozy on the hand.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, this is
many more dimensions on the skin. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It's good. It's a good lesson. With fragrance, when you buy it, you're going to wear it on your skin. So the best way to experiment with it is to wear it on the skin. I understand why we do blotters, because we'll walk into a store and we're trying loads of different things, and there's only so much real estate that we've got on our skin. But if you're set on buying it, you probably should spray it on the skin.
Yeah, if you're like me and you go to a perfume store, you don't have enough space on your body to try them on.
Absolutely. We
Yes,
segment our
that's
body. We're
right.
like, okay, back of the hand, then the wrist, then inside of the elbow. And
Yeah, and then we're like, smell
And
this,
then
smell that.
you come out and your head is like about to explode because you smell so many different things.
Yes.
Absolutely. We were
Yeah.
doing this only last night as we'll
We
go through
were.
a sample set. And I think we sprayed on 6 each so
Oh.
that we could go through the whole sort of sample pack. So
I can go through 4, and I think after that I'm done. I need to wait the next day
yeah,
to really like understand and smell everything. Otherwise, I get confused.
so do
Yeah,
I. It's
yeah.
very easy to get your nose overwhelmed. And I find that I know everybody's got the coffee beans in the store. I don't find that does much for me, the coffee beans. I find I have to walk outside and get fresh air, and that's a bit of a reset.
When you compose, when you make your formulation, you often you'll redo a couple. So when you formulate, you don't have the time to wait for the perfume itself to macerate, to mature for 4 weeks to try it. You make it, you blend it with your solvent, which is ethanol, and then you try it because you're excited to see what you've created. And I might do like 3 or 4 maybe in one day, and that's that's when I stop. And then I take my last one, which I'm quite happy with, take it to people, spray it on them, see what they say, come back to it the next day, 2 days later. I can't after 4 or 5 times, and especially when you're in a room with a lot of smells and I don't have that many, but yeah. You can't. Maybe the top perfumers, they're so used to it that they can sustain like so many different smells at one go.
Mhm.
but I can't.
No.
Yes.
You're also dealing with raw materials, which has that
So important.
extra pungent
Yeah.
smell. Like some of the ingredients across this range here, I can imagine, are somewhat overwhelming in their raw.
You should see that patchouli that is in there on itself. The patchouli,
Oh,
on the
yeah.
earthy patchouli on itself. It's a bomb.
I could
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
I could imagine.
And also, I'd imagine like it's quite challenging to really pick out the nuances when you've got different iterations of the same fragrance. You know, what's different in each of them and how that smell is, better or worse than the one that you've done before.
Yeah.
That would be quite challenging.
You know, the sentence slip on it.
Yeah.
That very much applies to making perfume.
So,
Exactly.
I guess how long does it take you typically to create a fragrance going through that process?
This one in particular took us a long time because I could somewhat create that smoke accord. I didn't have the whiskey dialed down. That's when I'll give you a bit of a story of how I proceed is I'm a hairdresser by trade. So what I do is I create a formulation, number one. I take it to my salon. Every single client leaves with the spray on the neck. And I'm like, you're a good friend of mine. We have a relationship. Just be honest. Tell me what you think. And that's how I go. I use maybe a month, 2 months of like bringing different samples along the way. And when I get a lot of good feedback, I'm happy with it myself. My wife also likes it. Then I take it to the guys at High Rise, and then we finish it together.
That's fantastic. It's such a great way to get feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get like
Genuine reactions.
these clients of mine have been my clients for years, so they tell me if it's not good, you know.
Yeah, they're honest with you, and they know they're not going to hurt your feelings. What you're trying to actually
Absolutely.
achieve.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I've got to say, like you've got a ready-made audience there to do testing. It's a great way to do it. This seems to be a little bit of a theme here. We've actually had a couple of brands on the show that are also hairdressers, and they do the same thing.
Mihan, yeah.
Yeah, Mihan. So
Mihan.
yeah, Josh
Yeah.
Mihan.
I didn't know. I knew the brand. I didn't know he was a hairdresser as well.
Yeah, by trade. And
Yeah.
another one who is Macy Milano, who's
Yeah,
one
Macy.
half of the Milano brand. So there's Marika and Macy. Macy actually is a hairdresser by trade. Marika does the formulations. Macy then goes in and tests it on the clients. And again,
Yeah.
it's honest. What a great way to do it. There's so many parallels between fashion and fragrance. What a great way to do it.
We are creatives. Hairdressers are creatives. You have to be creative to do well in this job. So yeah, I wasn't good. I wasn't very good at school, but I was good with my hands and creating stuff. Drawing drawing haircuts on paper before I even cut them, and then eventually coming to perfume making. Yeah, it's all creative.
Well, I think that's a great segue for us to sort of dive into your background. So, I guess you're not originally from Australia, so you're originally from France. I sort of detected a little bit of an accent there that gave that away. So, tell us, you grew up in France. Whereabouts in France did you grow up?
So I grew up in a small town called Limoux, close to another small town called Carcassonne, which some people might know, in Languedoc-Roussillon, about 2 hours north of Barcelona, across the border.
Okay.
Okay.
Wine country. My dad is a winemaker, and I moved to Australia 12 years ago, 2015. I can't, it's going to be going sideways a little bit. I came to play rugby league. I'm originally a bit of a league boy.
Okay.
Or to watch some NRL and with some friends on holiday. I was already a hairdresser. My mom is a hairdresser, so I was a hairdresser. I came to Australia, watched a bit of NRL. My friends went back to France to study, and then I loved it so much I decided to stay. Played a little bit of rugby, worked as a hairdresser, and I was lucky. My old boss sponsored me straight away, so I got to stay. And then I worked for this very high-end hairdressing business in Australia, who was the first ones, or like I'd say in 2015, niche fragrance was still not a very big thing in Australia. And they made me a head buyer of the business. So that's how I got into the fragrance business. I started by selling niche brands. And at first, we were like the first ones to stock like things like Penhaligons before they were even in Meyer, also Maison, Frappin, Liquid, like all these brands. At first, we were very first in the business, and I was quite good at selling and appreciating these fragrances. So they made me the head buyer of the fragrance part of the business, and that's when I met a lot of people from the industry, and I got the feel for it. So always in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm a hairdresser, but this is something maybe I want to do somehow. I want to do something in perfumery. So when I finished working for my previous employer, that was during COVID, and then started my own salon, my own business. And then after a few years and building a bit of treasury and having a bit of savings, then I started playing around with some oils, without the intention of making it a brand like it is now. But my clients told me that I had something good and I should go for it. So I put a bit of funding behind and started the brand.
Wow. Okay, there's quite a lot to unpick in what you've just taken
Yeah,
us through
no,
there.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So, you've come across from France to Australia just to watch some NRL because you're a you're a rugby person, but then you've decided that you loved Australia so much that you wanted to stay. Now, when you said you came over here to play, were you playing like professional, semi-professional? What was the?
No. I played, I guess, semi-professional in France. The rugby league in France is pretty small. Rugby union is much bigger. So no, I came here purely to meet with some people, some Aussie guys that came to play in France.
Yep.
I've always had this Australian culture through the rugby at home back in France.
Yeah.
My dad was a much better player than me. He played with some Aussie guys as well. So it was always going to be a day that I come to visit Australia. And playing rugby league helped me to make some friends. And no, I wasn't professional. It was leisure.
So then you came to Australia, you fell in love with Australia, you decided that you wanted to live here, and then you were employed, I think you said, by a high-end hairdressing salon that also had fragrance, is that right?
That's right.
And they put you in charge because I guess you've got the French language skills
Yeah.
to start with, but also that you come from France
So,
to start buying from France on their behalf to source brands.
Yeah, exactly. I had this passion that emerged. I've always had fragrances back home in my childhood, but not really into it until I started discovering this niche market. And I was just really interested. Out of all the hairdressers, I was the one really like offering a different perfume to my clients depending on the time of the day, what they were going to. And so I was doing well in sales, and they saw that I had this true passion for it. So they took me to the first buying meeting, and I basically was running the buying for them straight on. Like I connected with the agency. Just had a good feeling, and they said, "Well, look, if you want to run that part of the business, go for it." And so then I got invited to some conferences, which made me meet a very important person is David Frossard, which is the creative director of Frappin and Obvious, two very beautiful
yeah.
brands. He's also have a store and a distribution business in France. We at the end of the conference, I went and introduced myself, and we had a chat. We really connected. I think he liked me. He write bags, I write bags. He's boxing. Like we've got so many things in common. So I kept the relationship going, and then he's been an inspiration for me. I've been
Mm.
following his work as well.
Mm.
So yeah, it's been a very big inspiration for me. And so when I started my journey, I took a lot of inspiration from his work.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's that journey through sourcing niche perfumery from France on behalf of the business, I guess getting behind the industry, meeting the makers, that's sort of what sparked the interest in
Yeah,
eventually
yeah,
creating your own
yeah,
brand.
absolutely.
And almost like it was meant to be. You've come halfway around the world to do something completely different, and then all these pieces have just fallen into place.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. It goes in all different ways. Like rugby league and perfume is two complete different things, right? But yeah, I had a lot of things to talk about from my childhood. So yeah,
Mm.
that's why I choose perfumery, because I loved it. But I thought in perfumery there's so many ways to tell stories.
Absolutely. And also there seems to be a connection between winemaking and perfume making as well.
That also had an influence on me, my father's business.
So how does growing up on a vineyard with a winemaking father influence how you construct perfume?
Well, you are exposed to a lot of smells and aromas when you are first living in the countryside. A lot of the raw materials we use are extracted from the things you find in nature. So growing up in nature helps. Winemaking also brings a lot of aromas and smells, not only from the juice, but the tractor smell, for example, to start the day. The tractor smell, when you walk through the vineyards, you've got a lot of, that's something we'll talk into later with Razès. Razès is basically it's named after my father's vineyard. So it's got a bit of story. So a lot of smells, a lot of different materials, different also influence. I got influenced by the composition of wine. My dad is not a winemaker, he's a grower.
Okay.
And he sells his grape to a winery. But he's taken me with him all my life to work in the vineyard. When we were picking, I was just jumping in the trailer with all the grapes and then just playing with grapes to back to the chai where you mature the wine in the barrels. So when you walk into those rooms, your senses are is very high. Like you smell so many very strong smells, especially when you're a kid. That alcohol, those fruits,
Absolutely.
it leaves a trace in you. And when you grow up as an adult and you move to the other side of the world, you miss that. And so that's why I recreated those fragrances to bring back those memories.
Yeah. I don't think we can have a conversation about perfume without talking about memory and talking about place. And those are the things that inform how you actually construct your perfumes in the first place. I love that. Actually, we've got a slightly similar sort of background there. My father also makes wine. So I said your father grows the grapes. My father used to source the grapes
Right.
again from people like your father, and we used to make it again when we were young. I used to stomp on grapes, and we used to just make wine just for our family and our extended family. So bottle it
Okay.
all up and sort of ship it around. But over time, that actually turned into a business for my dad, and so he's got a business making wine. He actually does wine in a can. So he
Wine
does
in a can.
wine in a can,
tin.
in a tin, which I'm sure that might assault your French sensibilities there, and I don't blame you at all. But he created a wine in a can product that hasn't been able to be created before. So people have made wine in a can many times before through history. But wine, as you know, is a living product,
Yeah.
and it doesn't like being contained. And so if it's put into something like a can, it wants to eat its way out, and it eats its way through the lining, and it spoils very quickly. He's created a product that sort of replicates that action of glass. And
Right.
so it's able to have longevity on the shelf. And he actually does the canning for all of the major wineries in the country as well. So Brown Brothers and all of those sort of big brands.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, he's got his own business. So if you want to check it, free
Oh,
plug, Dad, wineacan.com, you can sort of check out what he does
I'll
there.
get a can for sure.
We'll send you a can. You don't need to buy it. We've got a lot. We've got a lot.
So you've been exposed to assemblage as well. You
Absolutely.
understand. Well, perfume and wine is very much the same, like in to an extent. But yeah, the assemblage of making wine from different type of grapes, different degrees of sugar in the fruit. Same as raw materials. You have some raw materials that are more potent than the others. Some you might dilute a little bit because they are way too strong. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think it helps, certainly when you have a glass of wine, whether you're just a consumer or whether you've been involved in the industry, before you take a sip traditionally, you will put your nose, into the glass and you will have a smell and you'll see what you can actually detect inside of the glass of wine. So I certainly find that, Robin and I both, again, from the alcohol industry, we actually met in the alcohol industry. That has helped us sort of bridge that gap as we've gone into the perfume industry to be able to smell and understand the smells, and also to understand that what we smell to our nose doesn't necessarily have to be what the listed ingredients are. It's all about how you interpret it. And what I interpret in my nose might be a little bit different to what she gets in her nose. And it doesn't really matter if you get the notes right or not. It's what's your interpretation? What's the story that's building in
The
your own
emotion.
mind?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And
Really
that
cool.
whole idea of, when you do go off and have a wine tasting day, and you're smelling that, it's okay to say whatever you think it smells like, and that helps you when you're learning more about fragrance, because you're always looking for words to describe a scent. And I think if you've had that experience with wine tasting, which most people have been on a wine tasting day once or twice at least, that helps as well to give you a bit of confidence to
I don't know if you guys
describe
have
words.
watched the show Drops of God. Have you heard of this
Oh,
I
show?
have heard of it.
We
Yeah,
haven't watched
it's on
it.
our it's
Yeah,
on our
it's on
watch
our
list.
watch list.
It's a
Yeah.
very good show to watch, but if you really listen to what they say, everything is accurate about wine and the region and everything, but the notes that they go through and they can tell you everything, it's bullshit.
It's
Absolutely.
marketing. Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's really important. I mean, this is a perfume education show, and a lot of people who listen are wanting to learn a bit more about how to understand and appreciate perfume. And we just want to say to those people who are watching and listening, don't be embarrassed if you smell a fragrance and you say the wrong note. There are no wrong notes. If you smell cherry, there's cherry. All right. If you smell grass, there's grass to you. And what we know, and you work in the industry, not all perfumes list all of their notes. Many of the notes are actually accords, and accords are made up of individual notes that are designed to convey the sense of what that smell might
Yes.
be. People aren't wrong. It's just
Nobody is wrong with perfume. It's all about
absolutely.
enjoying. It's all about just trying, and you make it whatever you want it to be.
Absolutely. And just as long as you're enjoying it, that's the point.
If it's good, it's good.
Exactly. It speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you for taking us through your background. You've had a really interesting journey from, growing up in France and making your way across to Australia, that sporting background, the hairdressing background, the creativity, and all of this has led to the creation of your brand, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
So 2023.
2023, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, and you're currently, I can see that you actually do retail it a little bit here and there, but you also sell online?
Yes. Mainly online. I've got a few retailers. None in Melbourne just yet.
Just
Hopefully,
yet.
if anyone is interested, reach out to me. But yeah, I really encourage my audience to go and see my stockist, because that's where they can actually experience the quality. But yeah, otherwise you find me on maisonlegarçon.com. We've got discovery sets. We've got cigar sets for traveling. And yeah.
Fantastic. Now we'll pop that up onto the screen now, the website address, and of course, as we always do on the show, we'll create a profile on our website, and we'll pop the QR code on the screen for you now. If you scan that, that'll take you to our website, and that will connect you back to Louis and to the brand and to all of the socials. So it's nice and easy to find. And we'll revisit that again at the end of the show.
Cool.
So I think we've had a bit of time now to go through the dry down of the opening notes. I think it's time to move on to our heart notes. What do you think?
Yep, sounds good.
Fantastic.
All right, so we're just going to go back to the perfume pyramid for just one moment. And this is where the heart notes form the center or the core of the perfume pyramid. And the heart notes will normally appear after those top notes have started to dissipate. So once the lighter volatile notes have sort of drifted off. And they do tend to form a nice smooth transition between the top notes and the deeper, denser base notes. They normally are things like florals and aromatic herbs or spices, and they're in the real true personality of the fragrance really comes into its own. So those notes do tend to linger and last a little bit more, and they are the essence of the fragrance. This edition of Olfactive Melbourne is proudly sponsored by Silver Australia. Silver Australia design and shape their jewellery in their studio in Melbourne, and they're pleased to offer Olfactive Melbourne customers 20% off when you use the code MASA20. And so with that all being said, Louis, if you could take us through the heart notes, please.
So on the pyramid, you'll see the heart notes will be the earthy patchouli and amber. Amber is used to round it off and to bring warmth into this fragrance. It's giving it a little bit of a velvety feel to it. And so the earthy patchouli is coming into that accord to recreate the smoke and charred wood of a fireplace.
Mm.
So it goes still all together with the top and base notes. But yeah, the high note is here to round off the perfume between the top and the base. The idea behind this perfume is the idea is the memory that I have of walking into the living room after dinner, and seeing my parents on the sofa, and my dad will send me to go and pick up some firewood, which happened to be oak. So every year in winter we'll go chop some trees to make some firewood for the house. Those trees happen to be oak, so I would go outside in winter, pick up the wood, and that was something I really like to do, is to feed and to bring this fire to life. And what I was doing this, I would see my parents sipping a whiskey behind me. This was you have to think it's late 90s, early 2000. There was no Facebook or Netflix or distraction. It was just like family time on the couch. We were about to watch the 9 p.m. Movie. And so, walking into this living room of my parents' place and smelling the fireplace and them enjoying a whiskey. So the heart notes are here to bring the warmth of this fragrance of a winter night spent in the living room watching the fireplace, sipping a whiskey.
A beautiful memory. I can see now why you've selected this fragrance as the masterclass fragrance, because this is the one that reminds you of home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
This takes you back.
Very much so.
So when you want to reminisce about your parents are still in France?
Yep, still in France.
All right. So
same house, same fireplace. Different bottle of whiskey, I hope.
So that makes it even more special because you can actually visualize exactly where they are.
Yeah, I try when I talk about it, I try to put you in my shoes as a 8-10-year-old kid, playing with this fire. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that, but yeah, I was always trying to nurture this fire. And my parents, after drinking wine at dinner, they will just enjoy a glass of whiskey. They're not alcoholic, but yeah, they enjoy their whiskey as well, especially mom. That was mom's. It's always been mom's drink of choice. And the fun story about it is the idea of making it a perfume came from going back home 4 or 5 years ago with my wife in middle of summer, and me being silly, telling my parents, should we get the fire going, like for the good old times? And mom and dad was like, nah, it's 30 degrees outside. Would you come on? And I was like, oh, please, I'm only here like a week. I can't have a fire going in Bondi Beach. It's like just for the memory. And so we basically redone the whole scene. Started the fire, poured the whiskey, and yeah, I was like, I've got to make a perfume out of this. This is a very important time of my life, a very important memory.
Oh, it's lovely. Especially when you miss your parents. They're thousands of kilometers. They're on the other side of the world. I'm not sure how often you get home, but no matter how often that is, I mean, it's not enough, is
Never
it?
enough. No.
And I think everyone can visualize what it is to enjoy a whiskey by a fireplace. It's my memory, but it connects to pretty much everybody.
And also being surrounded by those that you love while you're doing it. Yeah.
And it's very, very normal. I mean, I grew up in the country as well, and having a fire was, the primary way in which you heated the house, and that's quite normal.
Yeah.
I grew up before the era of social media as well, and so you would actually sit around as a family. I did this with my grandparents. It wasn't whiskey; they had sherry. That was their drink of choice after dinner. But again, we'd sit around the fireplace. It was my job to chop the wood and keep the fire burning through the course of the night. And I've got very similar memories. So this is sort of taking me back as well. It's lovely.
And I mean, I think all humans are drawn to fire anyway, like that feeling of...
It's mesmerizing.
Yes.
I think it's before we were so distracted with everything else. It was something that would bring us together. It was good times, enjoyed. And now that I think about it, the earthy patchouli that you smell on the heart note, this wasn't intentional, but you know how I mentioned shaved pencil earlier? We started this fire with whatever paper mom was throwing in the bin. So she had a lot of admin to do. Same again before emails and everything. And I think she still doesn't really use emails. But yeah, there was this big bin of paper and newspaper. And that was the fire starter basically. So that also and the shaved pencil, there will always be in that bin some shaved pencil scrap.
Okay.
So it wasn't intentional, but when I sprayed, when I was making it, it was another memory that came through. It was that bin of paper with the shaved pencil in it, and I was like, great, it's added to the story.
It's brought all of that story together quite nicely. I've got to say, when I first had this sprayed on, it was smoke forward with the booze in the background, and then as the dry down's been happening, the boozy notes are more forward and the smoke is sitting a little bit more in the back. And now that we're at the heart, that earthy patchouli is really starting to come forward a lot more now. So
the wood is complemented by that earthy patchouli.
It balances it out really, really nicely.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you call it out that it's an earthy patchouli, because you can imagine earthy patchouli. There's so many different types of patchouli, and so you get everything from a sweeter patchouli down to that sort of earthy, dirty type of patchouli. You've chosen the right one here, so it balances this out really, really.
It
nicely.
balances it. It's because otherwise it would have been a very sweet scent, and I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to be like a peated whiskey. You've got different types of whiskey. You've got the bourbon, which I call a bourbon, but it's between a bourbon and a peated whiskey. It's got that earthiness to it.
It's still got that edge of sweetness, so it's not completely dry. And that's probably
the base notes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the base notes.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I think you're just slightly ahead of me.
It's
when I smell it. He's ahead.
I've been watching your videos, and you dissect the top, heart, and bottom. For me, this perfume has top and bottom.
Yeah.
Top and middle. I think it goes very sharp, smoky, boozy into more boozy sweet with still that little bit of earthiness to it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at already, and I think it's quite a warm day in Melbourne today. So you chose a wonderful time to come down to
Spoiled.
Melbourne. We're really lucky. This is not.
Oh, maybe I brought the sun from
You,
Sydney.
you did. I think you did. It doesn't happen very often in Melbourne, but it's a 25-degree day. Sun is shining. It's beautiful.
Yes.
I already run a little bit hot, so I'm probably
Yeah.
progressing a little bit faster,
Yeah.
through this as well. But absolutely gorgeous, well balanced. It's not too sweet. It's not too smoky. It's not too dry. It's just really, really well balanced. Fantastic. Now we've got a bit of time now before we get all the way through the dry down. As you just noted, we're already getting some of those base notes coming through, but we'll give it some time to dry down a little bit further. Now, Louis, you've brought in the rest of your range, which is great. We're going to go through these now because I think all of our viewers and listeners will want to know a little bit more about the brand. So where do you suggest that we start going through the rest of the range?
I think we should start in the order of the making, and the order of which I always recommend weighing the range. If you had to weigh the range all of them in a single day,
Okay.
you will start with Razes. So
Razes.
that is the name of the terroir which my dad's vineyard is based on, and so it's a fresh scent, and it represents the morning spent on the vineyard. So
Wow.
it's a very light floral bouquet, I call it.
Very
A
fresh.
very dry,
Great opening.
dried floral bouquet. So the idea behind it is that it represents the walking through the vine aisles, and at the end of every vine aisles, my dad planted rose trees.
Oh, yes.
As you can see often in vineyards,
Yes.
it makes it pretty, but it's not there for the aesthetic. It's there to detect disease for the vineyard. So the rose is more fragile than the vine. So it just helps the winemaker to take action when it needs. Anyway, when you walk through the vineyard, you get this green wood from the vine, but you also get the rose blooming in spring. So that was the idea behind it. So you've got a lot of white florals, mainly white rose. You've got the wood, which is cedar and sandalwood. It's very easy to wear, so that's why I always recommend it as a summer or morning fragrance. The way I've created the brand at first, as a hairdresser, you have one client and you have 3 fragrances. I started with 3 and then I created Cure de Coeur at the end. But when you finish the haircut, you can't spray them all. So you always say, okay, what are you up to today? What's your day looking like?
Yeah.
If it's in the morning, I will always go for Razes or Altitude. And then if the client says I'm going out for a date or something, I will lean towards the Bois de Chêne. So the range has been designed to wear from either summer into winter or from morning into the night.
So I've noticed that you do assign a number to each one of the fragrances. This is number 1.
This is number 1.
Does that indicate that this was the first fragrance that was created, or is that just the order that you put them in just due to sort of starting with the morning through the evening?
It actually was the first one I created, but it's more into the order because I created Bois de Chêne before Altitude then.
Okay, yep. So that just gives you guidance as to
whereabouts
in the day.
I kind of created them all in one go. Definitely first was Razes, and then I worked on Bois de Chêne secondly. But as I said, it was a complex fragrance I couldn't really get right. So then I took my nose out of it to then create Altitude. And then I came back to finishing Bois de Chêne. So I kind of created Bois de Chêne second, but it was just a very, very difficult one to master. I was never happy with it fully until I was. And so number 1 is Razes. That was the first one. Just the same like a clin d'œil, or like to talk about something to my childhood, to my parents. What a better name than the vineyard's name?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So everything's based in memory. So obviously, our musk class fragrance is that very special memory of you sitting with your family after dinner in front of the fire, this one's the memory of the actual vineyard itself. So we're going to work through all of our fragrances here, but is that the theme that runs through all of them? They're all memories of home?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And except the fourth one. The
Okay.
fourth one is a memory of now, like it's a very recent memory of my wife.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So is this something that's going to sort of happen with the brand, that you're going to, I guess, show the evolution of your life through fragrance? Is that sort of the intent here?
It wasn't the first. It was the intent. I can't say it was the intention because I'm honest. I'm a very honest guy. It wasn't at first, but then after building the range, I was like, yeah, okay, that's the story I want to go for, maybe. The thing is, I've moved way too quick with the fourth one. The fourth one is it's like a year and a half ago, so I'll have to go back in time eventually. I don't have enough stories in the last year or so. But yeah, it is based on Le Garçon, which is me, memories.
Yes. I think that there's something quite special about telling the story of your life through your fragrance.
Very special, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it needs to be in a sequential
No,
order. You can go
course
from
not.
what's happening right now, because you do have your wife and you do have your young child, and it's a very special time for you. And I no doubt you wanted to sort of celebrate that. But if you go back in time, to 10 years ago and you pick another moment, I think that's absolutely fine.
And there's no such a date to those memories. It's an accumulation of days spent smelling these aromas that created. So I can't really date them either. Like Bois de Chêne was not just one night spent on the fire. It was many. Working on the vineyard, it was pretty much an every summer thing. And then altitude will come to it. Also, working through the forest. It's not attributed to one specific date. It was really just my childhood.
Yeah, it's your memory of your life.
Exactly.
Going through that period of time.
And what I missed, living here away from
The longing
yeah.
for.
Fantastic. So before we move on from Razes, am I?
Perfect.
Oh, yes.
You know what people
Raises.
say, raises, and I kind of like, yeah, dope. That sounds good too.
Fantastic. Well, we'll keep that in the edit then. So this is, to my nose, it is quite a fresh sort of fragrance. So this is a daytime fragrance. This feels like something that will do really well in summer and spring, in autumn now. It's quite good. But would you wear this in winter as well? Do you think this is a bit of a wintry fragrance?
Look, in Australia on a warm day in winter, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is my feel fresh out of the shower type of perfume. The woods make it last a fair while, but it is for me a clean, feel fresh scent. So if I'm about to go out in the very heat, that's my first pick probably. Yeah, I need a very like very intense heat of what Australia can be. Yeah, and in Languedoc-Roussillon, the weather is also very similar to Melbourne or Adelaide. Very warm and hot and dry summer, and cool and snowy winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Fantastic. Well, I would agree with this. And when you said that this is one of those easy wearing fragrances, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
You don't really need to think about it. It's a grab and go. Type of
And I would
fragrance.
say it's also very unisex, this one.
This one is
I can smell the petit grain or the sort of orange blossom, something similar.
That was the opening is that little bit of acidity, but not as sharp as a bergamot, for example. The petit grain is a touch
Softer,
sweeter. Yeah,
sweeter.
that's to bring that little bit of punch that we grow, the grapes that my dad grow, the Chardonnay.
Yep.
So, it's just to bring a bit of this idea of the vineyard. It's not really, you're not smelling, when you smell roses, you're not smelling a wine. You're smelling more the surroundings of the vineyard.
Yeah.
And that dry wood from the vine with the green leafy aspect of it. And those flowers. So not only there's rose trees around the vineyard, there's also a lot of genêt and lilies. Well, lilies is more in the gardens around my house, but the genêt, it's yellow flower, they're everywhere. So in spring you walk through a bunch of flowers.
Wow.
It's definitely to my nose, a green, white floral.
That's it.
The rose, there's a hint of the rose there, but by no means is this a rose fragrance. It's just there's a hint of it there. You get a sense of it, and which is probably good because sometimes rose is a bit off-putting for some people.
Yeah. If you read like a floral bouquet, it can sound very old school, grandma. It's
No,
not that at
it's
all.
not
Yeah.
like that.
No,
It's quite a modern
Green,
fragrance.
green woods and light, airy florals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You've
I
got a
love
little
green
bit of.
fragrance.
You've got a
Yes.
little bit of cedar. You've got a little bit of oak moss in it as well to bring that little bit of greenness.
Yes.
Can we say greenness?
Greenness is right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greenness.
Can. Yes.
We can make up whatever words we
It's
want.
very lovely, very clean.
It's hard to
smelling.
describe.
Yeah.
It's
It
hard to
is.
describe a smell. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how else we would say it. Greenly. I'm not sure, but it's a green fragrance. Green fragrances are very much on trend as
Yes.
well. And I think, it's got that beautiful balance of green, floral, not overly feminine. It's a very much a unisex fragrance. Fresh, clean, grab and go. No wonder it's number one. Yep, first fragrance. All right, so what should we move on to next?
Altitude, number 2.
Number 2. Well, that makes sense.
That is the best seller still to this day.
Okay.
It
So,
is our best seller, yeah.
so what does this one represent?
That is, so I live on the foothill of the mountains, and as you walk up towards the top, which we were always spending our weekends like either riding bikes or skiing, the vegetation changes and goes into the pine forest of the mountains. So that is a walk through a pine forest.
Walk through a pine forest.
And on the tops. So you've got a very minerally base to represent the Rocky Mountains, the rocky tops, and the pine. So pine itself is a very difficult material to work with. It's very sharp. It smells like cleaner.
Yeah,
floor
the
cleaner.
terpene. Is that
Yeah.
how you say that? Yeah, that smell.
Or like even I don't know. There's a floor. Like I tell you a story because my clients that I was bringing the samples, one of them one day when I started to make altitude, he told me, "Oh, that smells like floor cleaner."
Yeah.
And I was okay. Maybe dial down the pine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other material can I use? Hinoki.
Oh, yes.
Hinoki. So that is the main note in this fragrance.
Yeah.
Hinoki. It's a cypress. It's like a Japanese cypress.
Yes.
I love this. This is beautiful. This is a very sophisticated fragrance. This one. When I smell this, I smell me in a suit. Like really
Meaning
dressed up to the
business.
nines for this particular fragrance. Very suave.
Yeah.
Is probably a good way to
Yeah.
put this. Is that sort of the intent behind the profile?
The what it makes me feel like is it makes me feel confident. So I didn't wear it today. I was a bit nervous. I was like, should I have it? But I didn't want to mess up with everything that we were about to talk and to smell and to talk about. So if I was to go in a meeting or if I wanted to feel good and confident, that is my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely got a coolness to it.
Top of mint,
Yeah. Okay.
wild mint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming through.
I agree. This is you're about to go and do a big sales pitch, or you're walking into a boardroom, something like that, and you want to really feel like Superman and pump yourself up. This is the fragrance to wear for sure.
Funny you say that. It's the top seller, but in my hair salon, all the suit guys they go for this one.
Yeah.
Do they?
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And also it's my happy place, the mountains, and I now live on the beach, but I grew up riding dirt bikes, mountain bikes, putting my hands on those pine trees, getting that sap sticking to that was my happy place. You couldn't get me enough of riding my bike through the mountains.
So
Yeah.
I've got that picture in my head now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we use benzoin as well, and benzoin it's like it's basically a tree resin, the sap. I call it the sap. It's like the resin. You have to picture putting. I don't know if you've ever done it, but put your hand on a pine or a cypress tree trunk, and then you regret it instantly because it sticks.
Yeah,
it's
it's very
like
sticky.
it's like glue,
And you can't get it off your
and then
hands.
it's so potent. So
strong.
yeah,
Mm.
that's also a memory that I wanted to transcribe through altitude.
Yeah, I think you balance this well because you're right. This could easily, like, if you dialed the pine up a little bit more, it would sort of go into that floor cleaner sort of area, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's really well balanced. The hinoki is really, coming
Very
forward for
lovely,
me.
yeah.
It's really well balanced, really nice, very sophisticated. Does take me to that forest.
Yeah, the forest, or for me, it conjures up that idea of like the sauna in it. That
Yeah.
sort of idea.
Cedar wood.
Yeah,
Cedar wood, yes.
because I can
yes.
smell that smell, like when you go into the fresh sauna and the woods or
Interesting. It's cedar wood. I don't know if they make saunas with pine as well. Like we use pine for structures in houses and stuff.
okay.
If you go into the sauna, usually the wood they use is cedar wood,
Yeah.
which there is some
Some in there.
cedar wood in it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I could see that. We're big sauna fans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm
Can-
definitely
yeah.
getting that smell. Mm.
The cedar wood is a comforting scent.
Yes, very much.
comforting
Yeah.
scent.
Beautiful. I love this. So this is your number one seller.
That is still to this day the number one seller. I think Cuir de Coeur is coming for it.
Oh.
It's only been released less than a year ago. It will dethrone it soon, but
Okay.
yeah.
But this one's been the one that's been dominating since since inception. I'm not
Okay.
surprised. It's lovely. I mean,
Very nice.
our
yes.
number one fragrance, they're super fresh, easy to grab and go. You probably need to think about this one a little bit more in terms of application, like what am I doing today? Whereas, our first fragrance is just wear it anytime. That's a weekend go to fragrance. But yeah, this is a good work fragrance, I think. Yeah.
Also, I think this is more of a masculine fragrance.
Yeah, definitely.
The Razès is unisex. Bois de Chêne, even though it sounds very masculine, it's very loved by our women's customers, and they only love it once they smell it.
Yeah.
When you read through the notes, it appeals to a male fragrance.
Yep.
So it is also unisex. The fourth one, which we can...
Yeah, absolutely. So Bois de Chêne is fragrance number 3, which is our masterclass fragrance. That's why we're skipping forward to fragrance number 4
That's
now.
right, yes.
All right, so Robin's going to grab fragrance number 4, and this is Cuir de Coeur.
Cuir de Coeur.
Thank you. I really have to practice my my French.
Yeah, I should have picked names which was easier to pronounce.
No,
in
you
English.
shouldn't. You know what? Your heritage is French. There's French perfumery in this DNA here, along with your obviously your now background in Australia. I think you've done it well. Stick with the French names. They sound beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the French language. I've been trying. How long have I been trying to learn French?
How long's your Duolingo streak on?
Years.
It's been going for
I'm
years now.
still terrible.
Look, I'm French and I don't even know everything in French myself. It's a complicated language.
It is. I don't know whether a microwave is male or female. I'm trying. All right, let's have a smell. So what notes are we getting here?
So here you've got saddle leather, but it's a fresh gourmand. So you've got a little bit of very soapy fresh leather mixed with cedar wood. You've got a chestnut accord with lavender and an opening of bergamot and cherry.
Yeah, I was going to say the cherry. I'm getting cherry.
You're getting the cherry.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I first sprayed it, I immediately thought of fairy floss. So just that sweetness just popped up in the air. But it's obviously the cherry and the bergamot.
Can I spray it on the skin as well?
Please,
Yes,
absolutely.
let's do that.
I'm always, I don't know if it's a perfumer thing or so. We're always disappointed smelling them on the paper. Not disappointed,
Robin,
but
I'll put it on my right hand. Thank you.
no, this one.
That
Yeah,
one?
thank you.
Oh, I can see why now. Yeah. Okay, it definitely needs to go on skin, this one.
So that is it's a fresh leathery gourmand. Something I didn't have in the range yet, and I wanted to make to stop fighting with my wife
Okay.
over this leather jacket. So yeah, we about a year and a half ago we were about to go out for dinner or some drinks, and I put on this really cool leather jacket that she's got. So my wife works in fashion, and she's in charge of my entire
Your wardrobe?
yeah. So we share a lot of clothes. She works in fashion, and she likes oversized clothes. So I often pick some of hers. Anyway, this night I was walking through the door with that jacket, and she's like, "Wait, where are you going?" I'm wearing this one tonight. And anyway, I was like, please. And she ended up wearing it. But I already had sprayed altitude on. Anyway, we're in the Uber and we are talking about it. And she's like, "Can you please, I love your business, your fragrances and everything. It's really cool. But I smell like a Jude now." And so she's like, "Okay, when you wear this this jacket, can you please not like wear anything but not the really masculine one?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Why don't I make one that we both like, and one that
Great
can
idea.
really linger on that jacket for a while?" So
Yeah.
this scent is made to linger on leather. It's not, when I say it's a cuir de coeur. Cuir in French means leather, and coeur means heart. So it's more of a leather of heart or leather of love. So it's not really a leather. It is a slight leather, but it's more of a leather to go on leather.
Yep. Okay.
It's
That
very
makes sense.
interesting, yes, because it doesn't have that intense leather smell, that sometimes maybe some people are uncomfortable to wear, or it's just a lot to wear. It's a much more subtle hint of it somehow.
Yeah,
So I think it's whatever else is blended in there.
yeah, on the strip for me, it was a bit more cherry forward.
Yeah.
On the skin, far more balanced with the leather, the cherry. I mean, even getting. I think you mentioned chestnut.
Chestnut.
Yeah, you'll get a little bit of nut. You'll get some nuttiness coming through in maybe 10-15 minutes. When that bergamot disappear a bit, you'll have the chestnut coming through.
Yeah, I'm getting that nuttiness already coming through on my skin. I guess because I do run a little bit hot as well. So yeah, I think you've achieved. So you've gone from having a formulation that was a little bit more masculine leaning to you've just sort of balanced this out to a really nice unisex fragrance now, so that it can be worn by you and your wife.
Absolutely.
What a great resolution. Fantastic. And so would you describe this as a bit of a date night sort of smell? How would you?
Yes, definitely. It's still fresh to me, so it can be worn all day.
Yeah.
But I will wear it on a date night.
Yeah.
It's also very it's got a strong sillage, this one.
Oh, okay.
The idea was so it could linger on that jacket for a long time, and then you can. And so she stops complaining. She's like, "Okay, this is something I like."
Yeah, it works. It works for me now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So we can both pick up this jacket and appreciate the scent that's on it. So with this one is it's a unisex. I would say it's a unisex with a masculine approach to it.
Yep.
Because I make perfumes first for myself. I need to really feel something that I like. It's subjective. Like anyone can wear anything.
Yes, of course.
It still has that masculine tone to it, but it's a fresh gourmand made to make an impression.
Yeah. Well, I think just like your wife, I would very easily be able to wear this.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about masculine or feminine, it's a spectrum. All right, so you're very right to call out that there isn't a male or female. Smells aren't inherently male or female, but there are scent profiles that we've all been conditioned and grown up with that then position us as either male leaning or female leaning, and so it's fine to say, hey, it's in the center here, so it's unisex, but it leans one way or another according to the profile
Yeah.
that you're used to sort of smelling. And we're doing our best here to sort of talk about a smell through a camera. All right. And
Yeah.
I know we were talking before the show
tricky.
how difficult this is to do, to try and convey what you're actually smelling through the screen. So this is why it's important to actually smell it on your skin.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you need to give people an orientation. So if I'm going to go and try this fragrance, if I'm going to pick up a sample or a travel size or whatever it is it male leaning, female leaning, somewhere in the middle? Yeah, and it helps.
Yeah, it's otherwise it's misleading. I find if you buy a perfume through a screen, well, you're on for a discovery. Even if you listen, you get an idea, but then no one can really picture the smell, the real smell, only hearing someone yarning about it.
Yeah.
It's only when you spray it. So giving as much indication helps the consumer to make a choice, and that's why this one really completes the collection so far.
Absolutely.
And so I try to please everyone.
I think it's a very well-rounded collection. You've got everything here from that grab-and-go freshie through to the date night fragrance, the office scent, and you pretty much go anywhere, do anything sort of fragrance. So you got them all there. It's really well balanced. So I'll be really interested to see, where you take this this collection going next. Whether you're going back in time, forward in time, what memories that you're sort of leaning into. But we'll go into some detail around that shortly. But before we do, thanks for taking us through the broader range. We've had a bit of time now for the fragrance to dry down, and we're probably ready now to get into the base notes. So just before we do, again, let's return to our perfume pyramid. So keeping in mind what Louis said earlier in the show, in that this fragrance is actually there's sort of two halves to this fragrance. There's the top and the bottom, rather than the three areas of that perfume pyramid. But just for explanation purposes, we're at our base notes. So our base notes are effectively the opposite of those opening notes, where I describe the opening notes as very light, very volatile. The base notes here are quite heavy, they're quite dense. And all that means is that those notes are the ones that will stick to our skin and provide that longevity in the fragrance. So once everything else has sort of moved into the background and then sort of started to fade away, it's the base notes that will stick around for the long term, and it gives us the longevity of our fragrance. And that could be 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever it might be. This show is proudly sponsored by Watchvault, Australia's premier destination for luxury and vintage timepieces. Every watch is trusted, verified, and ready for its next chapter. Visit watchvault.com.au to discover your next timeless investment. So, with all of that explained, what are we actually smelling here in our base notes?
So the main thing you'll be smelling is the vanilla. It's not a very sweet vanilla. I didn't want it to overpower. So you've got the vanilla, which is a material that stick for a very long time, and then a musk to give that sort of cashmere, rounded cashmere effect to it, velvety cashmere.
I love this dry down. It's really, really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, vanilla can be one of those sort of dangerous ones where it can go into that quite sweet zone, and it can be a little bit off-put. Certainly for me, a too sweet vanilla is not for me. This is not overly sweet at all.
Two different vanilla between Cœur de Coeur and Bois de Chêne.
Okay.
Much sweeter vanilla in Cœur de Coeur. So yeah, no, this is there just to bind everything together and to make the fragrance last. We've got notes that are anchoring the fragrance, like the patchouli and the vanilla. The musk is here to round it off with the amber. But yeah, the vanilla is here as more of a fixative, I'd say, of the fragrance rather than a dominant note. And then wood, you've got cedar as well in it.
It's a really, really soft, but and comforting and sort of warm.
Mm-mm.
And if you I sort of think if you had that scent, you won't want to leave the room where the fire is. You'd want to stay there. Maybe
That's
have
right.
one more
Yeah.
whiskey.
You put that cashmere blanket over you and keep enjoying being mesmerized by the fire.
Mm.
So, Bois de Chêne, hopefully I'm nailing that, it actually means oak wood or
Oak wood.
Yep. So that's why this is sitting in the base here,
Yes.
because this is what we're going to be
Yeah.
left with. It's sort of that sort of heart of that.
Yeah.
oak
Well,
wood glaze.
I have almost forgot about the oak wood, of course. Yes.
It's still there on my skin. That's all. I had a smell of it, and I can still smell that. I still smell the smoke.
The
It has not gone
smokiness,
away
yeah.
at
Yeah.
all. It's just more sitting in the background.
It's
other than-
mellow.
I
It's
believe
mellowed.
when it's extracted, the wood is extracted, and it might have been charred before it's extracted. Not quite sure about it, but it's the raw material really isn't. It's not a very strong and potent raw material like patchouli could be, but very very comforting
Okay.
for me.
Mm.
It's not a very oak wood is not a very strong raw material on its own.
Okay.
So it's more the Bois de Chêne. It's the name Bois de Chêne. It's because of the memory and that wood that we were feeding the fire with.
Yeah.
And also whiskey is matured in oak barrels.
Mm.
All my life I've been surrounded by oak everywhere.
Mm.
The furniture, the cabinet, the woods, the trees outside, the barrels in the shade when you mature the wine.
Yeah.
And so the idea of the name is more about the memory rather than the note itself. The note oak wood is very subtle.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But that's why you're saying that it may be that oak in the base there is charred. So it could have been like a destructive distillation process in the base there, just to really extract that rather subtle smell and make sure that it's there sort of all the way through.
I think
The
there is jojoba as a solvent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not the scientist
No.
behind this, as I say.
Neither are we.
I'm interested. I'm very interested, but there's so many things to know.
Yeah.
I try to know my subjects as much as possible. I'm trying to visit places where they extract oils as well, but I don't know everything.
Oh, no, absolutely. I can see what you mean, though, because it is a very subtle fragrance, but it is the namesake of the fragrance, Bois de Chêne. And so you've kept that prominent all the way through. So it's that sort of backbone all the way through the fragrance along with the smoke. It's not lost as we've gone through the evolution of the fragrance there. And I thought it's really quite interesting that you picked out that cedar in the heart note there, getting that sort of sauna smell because it's sitting here in the base, which also shows that, again, while we describe everything in a perfume pyramid, the way a fragrance really unfolds is not necessarily in that sort of linear manner.
I get what your feeling of the sauna in this one. It's the idea is to make a perfume that's comforting. And the sauna is a pretty comforting when you walk in it before you're all sweaty. When you walk in, it's like a nice, comforting
Love
feeling.
that smell.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Absolutely fantastic. What a gorgeous fragrance. And I can see now it's not just the memory, although that is really important as to why you've decided to feature this particular fragrance as the masterclass fragrance. It's actually quite complex, the way it unfolds. So it's very interesting, full of very interesting notes and accords. It's been a real pleasure going through this one and understanding it a little bit more. Thank you, Louis. So I guess my next question for you is, we've spent a bit of time on your website, and obviously we've spoken before, but you describe all of your fragrances as, I believe it's 100% handmade. So is that the actual construction process is all handmade? Is that why you describe it?
So I do everything myself. Once we are happy with the formulation, Nick and Kylie give me the formulation in bulk, in concentrate. Then I macerate it. So I macerate it in alcohol. And then I fill the bottles from the filling, the packaging, the crimping, the sticking the labels, to putting the film around it, and everything is handmade by.
All in-house.
Yeah, my
Awesome.
my,
Yeah.
my wife helps me a little bit with more of the customer service and some of the labeling. She does the little samples, which are very tedious to do.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, everything is handmade. I used to do it in my spare room, which was an office, and I recently had to move it to make space for baby Lou. So yeah, I do it out of a little garage/warehouse around the
Very,
corner.
very cool. And it's a great opportunity right now to just have a look at your packaging, which is very, very gorgeous. Love the bottles. I absolutely love these um, cigar travel size bottles. That are just stunning.
Absolutely. Can I have a look? I love the packaging, and we'll superimpose this onto the screen so you're not sort of stretching to see what we're looking at here. But just the way these are put together are just beautiful. This is quite unique. I don't think I've seen that sort of cigar shaped.
No, yeah, I'm
it's
very proud
very
of this.
cool.
I'm very, very proud of this.
So this is a 10 mil, is it?
Yes.
A 10 mil travel size.
Correct, yeah.
Fantastic. This is gorgeous, and even the boxes. I mean, everything,
everything.
that you've created, even the sample set that you pulled out before, it's all very consistent. All of the branding, all the way through it. It's absolutely
Very-
lovely.
Very high end.
Very important to me. When I worked with these niche brands that I was mentioning before, that's one of the things I picked, and I remember is they put a lot of effort into the detail, and for me it's very important. You're about to spend a fair amount of money on a product. It's got to smell good, but the packaging's got to look good. It sits on a shelf, and if I'm calling the brand an artisanal luxury perfume house. Yeah, it's artisanal. It's all handmade, but I put a lot of thought into the detail.
Yeah, it's important. It's not just the juice; it's the whole experience. It's
Yeah.
the weight of the bottle. It's the weight of the cap. It's the way the atomizer sprays. It's the packaging. It comes. All of it. We're visual creatures, and so putting that effort into it, it makes it special.
And the packaging is here to stay as well. Like it's not something you get and then you keep the bottle and you throw the packaging. This is designed to travel with it. So you keep the perfume into the cigar sleeve, and so you travel with this. I've traveled
replace it.
through airports with 20 of these in my backpack to see if they were gonna say anything, and no, it went through no problem. So
Oh.
because each individual are 10 ml and they
Yes.
contain into this sleeve. Yeah. So
Yeah,
and same for the box. Like a lot of people tells me that they keep the box, they put the perfume back in. It's a lot of effort if you use it daily, but it's also a good way to keep the fragrance going for a long time. The bottles are slightly smoked, so the paint on the bottle protects the juice from UV a little bit, but if you can keep it in the box, even better.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously that travel size is glass as well, so it makes sense to keep it in its packet so it doesn't break accidentally on the way through. I'm sure it's a very heavy glass, but still, if you've seen the way the airport handles your luggage, they like to sort of sock it and get around.
Yes.
And I love the fact that it is in that cigar shape. In fact, I even saw you when you were holding it. You were holding it before. You were actually holding it just like you had it like a cigar. Absolutely. Fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, I think the way you've described your brand there being a niche artisanal is accurate, right? Because you make this in quite small batches. So you're not doing mass quantities that you're pushing out to market. So I guess the question there is, how do you maintain that consistency batch to batch, considering how small your batches are?
So I do batches of 30 to 50 bottles at the time.
It's quite small.
Yeah, I'm still small. I really want to one day make a lot more. I'm gonna keep it as artisanal as possible for forever.
Yeah.
But the consistency is once I get the concentrate, I respect the concentration. which sits between 25-30%, but depending on the fragrance.
Yeah.
And I respect that going. And I prefer to do small batch because the certain fragrances have a lot more naturals than others in it. Like Roses, for example, has a lot of naturals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you spray a bottle of Roses that has been sitting for 2 years versus a fresh one, it's quite different. Still smells nice, but the juice evolves because of those natural ingredients.
Yeah.
So keeping it fresh consistently gives the consumer a consistent smell. So if they buy a sample today,
Yes.
and in 6 months' time they come back to buy the bottle,
Mm.
they're not buying a bottle that's been sitting on a shelf. They're buying a bottle that's between 4 to 6 weeks of maturation and up to maybe 2 months. Usually, I get a new batch going.
All right, so that's how you maintain your consistency, by just doing small batches but doing them frequently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me, which is a lot of work for you, I can imagine. And you're also still doing, you're still a hairdresser?
Yes,
And you're
full time.
So you're working full time, you're doing this part time, and you're doing it very frequently. I guess this is one of the beautiful things about being able to buy from a brand like Maison Le Garçon, is that you are getting something that's quite special.
Yeah.
It's small batch, it's unique. You're probably not
Made
gonna
with
smell
love.
Made with love.
Yes.
You're very unlikely to bump into somebody down the road that is also wearing the same fragrance as you, and it's quite unique, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah.
Now, we also noted on your website that you are 100% cruelty-free in terms of the ingredients that you use. Does that inform the types of I guess raw materials that you're using in fragrance?
Yeah, also using this perfumer house, they take very big pride in cruelty-free. So everything I get from them has gone through certification for IFRA and is certified cruelty-free. So I pass that on onto my customers.
Fantastic.
It's lovely.
And you're also quite concerned with, I guess, sustainability as well. So does that inform the packaging? Is this why you've got so much sort of paper and cardboard based?
Yeah. I try as much as possible to do everything paper based. Even the shipping boxes and envelopes are in paper usually. I've had a few issues with weather. They've been sitting in the front door and it got a bit wet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a solution, but for the most part, it's only happened once. But yeah, in this industry, if you know there's a lot of paper, plastic wastage. When you're a small guy like me, it doesn't really it's not much. But if one day I grow into a bigger brand, it'll be important to keep it as much paper based as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, every little bit counts.
Yes.
And I can see, I mean, there's barely any plastic being used whatsoever. I'm sure you'd need to obviously wrap the actual boxes themselves to, again, keep them weatherproof, but everything else is
Look,
cardboard-based.
I am honest again, and then I'm not fully eco-friendly, and I try to be as much as possible. But we all know in the process that there's going to be some plastic at some point. Just try to reduce it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And one day we'll have technologies that allows us to be fully quality, luxury feel, and eco-friendly.
It's actually impossible at the moment. I mean, we've dealt with other brands. I think Tolita is probably a good example where
It's the Blue Beauty
the
standard.
Blue Beauty standard,
Yeah.
right, where it's the highest you can possibly imagine. You still can't substitute out the I'm not sure what
It's the little plastic
plastic piece
thing
that
in the
draws
middle.
that draws the fragrance up into the sprayer. You can't substitute that out because you've got an alcohol.
It dissolves.
It'll dissolve.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to make it plastic free using today's technology, but you're striving to do it as much as possible, and that's all that you can do. And I know you've got a little child, and so you're obviously thinking about their future as well, and you've got that in your mind. Fantastic.
She's gonna be helping me one day to fill up this bottle.
I can imagine she will be. So, and how old is your daughter?
4 months.
4 months. And what's her name?
Lou.
Lou. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We actually met Lou just before the show. She's absolutely gorgeous. Big smiles. Definitely.
She's the future of this brand.
Absolutely.
gorgeous.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
make a perfume based on her one day.
Fantastic. So maybe one day, or have you got a plan in your mind to do
I
this?
haven't worked on the formulation yet. I've got an idea. Like we all love baby smell. I don't know if it'll be a scent that could be sold to adults one day. I don't know. There's this brand that we use for like baby cream and shampoo called Mustela. Don't know if you've ever tried it. It's
I haven't.
a French brand. We can find it here as well. Their smell is unbelievable. Your baby smells so good. So maybe, I don't know. It's something that in the back of my mind. I have a few more stories to do before I get into this. Maybe when she's a bit older and we have an experience or something that happens together.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's gonna be, but maybe we'll share an emotion together, my daughter and myself, which I'll make a perfume about.
Brilliant.
Great
I mean,
idea.
you've got an unlimited amount of different memories that you can draw from. So I guess for those people who are watching and following Maison Le Garçon, what is next? What's in the pipeline?
What's next? So next is hopefully launching in a good perfume store in Paris.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Yes.
extremely
Yeah.
exciting.
Done. It's not official yet. I'm still working through the details, but yeah, that will be a big thing for me.
Yeah.
In terms of products, we've worked hard last year. Baby Lou was due December, and so all last year I had in the back of my mind, okay, get these things out. So we've done the cigars. I've created the candle range as well. So I make candles out of olive wax.
Okay.
As my wife was pregnant, she asked me to do a product that was safe to burn around a pregnant woman.
Yes.
So I've done the research and used olive wax.
Oh,
So
that
that was
sounds interesting.
most of last year's development.
So olive oil wax, is that?
Yeah, so it's
okay?
they extract the wax when they make it. They pass the oil into a centrifuges, and they cool it down, and so that extracts the wax. And as they cool down, they're left with wax, and it's clean to burn. It carries the smell so well. It's it melts at a low temperature, so I still blend it with soy wax. Because in Australia, if you ship it to North Queensland, for example, it'll start to sweat and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, that was part of last year's development. So in terms of new product, I think we've done a lot recently. I'm working on some formulations, a couple of stories, but yeah, I'm quite busy with the newborn at the moment.
I can imagine.
And the brand is growing, and so I'm reaching a point where I need to pick my battles a little bit.
Yes.
The launch in France, hopefully more retailers in Australia. I really want to be seen on shelves in Australia, and
Absolutely.
and maybe next year release the 5th one next year.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we won't press you for further details on what might be in the pipeline. And, if you do, people will be saying, okay, well, you told us on the show, this fragrance is coming. When is it coming? And you'll be under pressure and you've got a baby. So we won't press you.
Yeah. I'm right. I'm not going to tell people it's going to be this year because it might not be.
Absolutely.
It takes time to do something well, and I don't want to rush it.
Absolutely. But I guess the message there is that the brand is going to continue to grow. The number of fragrances will continue to expand in the future. You've got the intent to do that and tell more stories from your life, and that will be the thing that sort of carries through there. And we'll be very excited to see the launch of La Maison Garçon in France. Now, obviously, when you launch in France, you'll be, even though it does have that French name, you'll be marketing it as an Australian perfume brand.
That's the thing. Yes, I'm going to play that angle of being Australian-based fragrance house.
Yeah.
So, is there many Australian perfume brands being marketed in France?
Yeah, Goldfield.
Okay,
They,
Goldfield.
they're doing really well in
Yeah.
France, apparently. I think they are made. The juice is made in France. I'm not sure, but yeah, apparently they're doing really well in France. I don't know what else. If I've seen any other Australian brands.
You might say something like Aesop potentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Probably.
yes. I think Aesop was.
You
But
can't mention too many though.
I think Aesop is not a niche. It's not anymore of a
No.
niche,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Beautiful brand, but
Yeah.
it's massive.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
been, I don't know
massive.
who owns
It's
Aesop
owned
now?
by one of the
It'll be L'Oreal or something
one
like
of
that.
those
Yeah,
ones, yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah, I'll be one of the maybe first, not the first, but one of the first to
First,
be.
yeah,
Very
probably
exciting.
independent Australian perfume houses
Yes.
in France.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow, what a milestone.
It's not done yet. I'm praying for it. It's gonna happen at some point.
100%
soon,
it's gonna
like in the next few
Well,
months.
We're wishing the very best for you, and no doubt we'll see this brand expand into Australian retailers all over the place. We love it. We think it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank
We've
you.
been keen to have you on the show for a while.
Mm.
It's just that you've been very busy with a baby, and we completely understand why it's taken a little while to sort of get you on. So fantastic. All right, so we know what's sort of coming in the future now. We did earlier in the show visit the website, but I think it's probably just worth reiterating. If somebody wanted to get hold of that wonderful sample pack, and maybe if you can grab that for me, Louis, and just and show that to our audience here. So if somebody wanted to jump onto the website and get hold of those fragrances, what is the website again?
MaisonLeGarçon.com.
Fantastic. So we're going to pop that on the screen. So they'll be on the bottom of the screen for you now. Now, obviously, this is also an audio-based podcast. So if you are listening in the car and you don't have access to watch the video, we'll make sure that the website is embedded into the description on either Spotify or onto Apple Podcasts.
Fantastic.
Popping up on the screen for you now again is the QR code that will take you to the Olfactive website. There we'll have a profile on Maison Le Garçon along with Louis, and that will connect you back to the website as well. So there's multiple ways in which we can actually find your website,
Thank you.
the various different retailers, and there's no excuse why you can't actually get hold of this sample pack. It is important that you do have a smell of these. Our experience through going through this masterclass is the fragrances shine on the skin, and you really need that skin chemistry and that heat to really enjoy them. They're great on the blotters, but they're next level when they're actually on the skin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Louis, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Merci beaucoup.
Oh, thank you so much. Had an absolute blast. Absolutely adored all of the fragrances. Can't wait to, play around with them a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you for making me feel comfortable as well. It's been a pleasure.
Fantastic, mate. You are an absolute natural in front of the camera. I think we've seen this from some of the advertising that you do on your social media as well. For those of you who aren't following yet, as soon as you start following Maison Le Garçon, you'll see that Louis does actually feature a bit in his brand. And I think that's really important that people see the face of the brand, especially when you're talking artisanal niche. They want to see who you are.
Yeah, when you're small, they want to see who is behind the brand. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's some of your identity is leaking into your own identity when you're spraying it on and projecting that to the world. So
It certainly makes me connect more with the brand when I have that
That's good. That
connection.
means I'm doing my job well then.
Absolutely. I think you're nailing it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. No,
Thank
thank you
you.
for joining us.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
thank you to all of our listeners as well. We really appreciate your support. So please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode. Otherwise, we'll see you next time for another brand founder and perfumer and the stories behind their fragrances.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.